Now, it's time for the Anchormen podcast with Matt Gates and Dan Ball.
Welcome into the latest edition of the Anchormen podcast. I'm Dan Ball, next to another one of our Anchormen here at OAN, the One America News Network. It's the Real Stories. Riley Lewis back for another edition. What's up, Ry?
Thanks for having me. I appreciate that.
How about some whiskey?
Oh.
I'm just going to get right to it in this episode. We've got so many things to talk about this week, and we got a great guest. Last week we had George Santos. He was fiery. Thanks everybody for sharing that and commenting on the stuff.
If you missed
George
it, it's on YouTube, by the way.
By the way, all these podcasts get posted all over OAN social media, so they go up every Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern is when this one goes up, and we're doing 2 a week now. Matt's hosting one because he's traveling so much.
Yeah.
So I think he just did one that posted last night, Thursday, but he filmed it out of our DC studios. We're filming out of San Diego. So the podcasts are doing so well. You guys are reacting so well to them. We just keep cranking them up. And this is all about not just profiling the anchor men that work here, and I'm not being sexist, ladies. We, of course, love our Chanel Rion, an anchor woman who does Fine Point right after Matt's show. You kick off the lineup at what time Eastern?
6
Eastern. 6.
Mm-hmm.
I'm at 8, Matt's at 9, Chanel's at 10. That's an awesome lineup. We got to get Chanel on here, by the way, pretty soon to talk about Fine Point. But anyway, before we get to all these headlines, politics and pop culture and entertainment that we're going to talk about, how was your week? What'd you do?
I reconnected with a couple of old college friends, actually, that I hadn't heard from in a long time.
Ladies?
No.
Come on,
I know you were going to go there.
First of all, where's the guitar I gave you last week?
Where is that thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
I think,
can we bring that over here? Yeah, bring it over. It's okay.
yeah,
Walk it on up. Come on. It's a podcast. This isn't a newscast. We can do whatever the hell we want. Bring that on over here.
There we go.
Give that to Riley.
Please,
this guy
you.
can jam, okay? And by the way,
thank you, brother.
Ladies, he's single. He's single.
I can serenade you. So if that's anything, I can play a little bit.
Can you cook?
Working on it.
Can you drink?
Yes. yeah.
Anybody that's been in this business for any amount of time, you better be able to handle your liquor because you're going to have some long, rough days. And sometimes some whiskey goes down real smooth and helps out.
So what is this whiskey?
So a couple buddies of mine, my wife and I met last year in Knoxville, Tennessee. We were at the annual convention for GOA. You familiar with GOA?
Yeah.
You've had them on your show. Mm-hmm. Gun Owners of America. Look them up.
Yes.
If you're not an NRA member, or even if you are, join GOA. Because this is how GOA got described to me, and I forget who told me this, but they're like, if you think the NRA sticks up for 2A, you ain't seen nothing yet. Go talk to the boys at GOA, because they are like diehard. It says shall not be infringed. We take that to heart.
Yes.
NRA sometimes has, over the decades, depending on the politician that's lobbying and they're talking to and whatever, they might, I don't want to say they give here or there, because I'm sure they'll give me grief if I say that, but GOA is diehard
Steadfast.
About following it to the T. Okay? We don't give on anything. We don't give on bump stocks. We don't give on mag size. We don't give on caliber.
Correct.
This 10-day bullshit in California I have to put up with every time I go buy a gun. Mm-hmm. They don't want any of it. So, long story short, my wife and I are at that convention. I was a guest speaker, and they had booths, of course, with vendors, mostly guns and ammo. But this guy, Tim Oates and his partner David Long, they came up with this a few years ago, and they wanted to make a Kentucky bourbon, and they're like, what better way, because they're big 2A guys,
it's a great design,
than to support and defend one of our most sacred rights. Obviously, I think the first one is even, I don't want to say more important, because we didn't have this.
Well, the second one's there if the first one doesn't work out, right?
There you go.
Well,
and I've dedicated 33. You've dedicated the last several years of your life to press and speech. So number one's kind of important, but number two is equally important. And so what I love about 2A, and then we'll get off this, is Second Amendment is on the back. There, can you see it? Every bottle, they
just
print it.
For all the politicians that haven't read that, by the way, let's show that again. Yeah, please.
Well, and I know
it says shall not be infringed upon, and they seem to forget. So
I don't know if you've been in the Brady building or any of the buildings in Washington, but I wouldn't say 9 out of 10, but a lot of our members of Congress have plenty of whiskey in their offices. So, okay, and I know a few of them that drink on the job. I won't throw you under the bus. If you're going to drink something so you can stay up to date on the Constitution, you should drink this one. Then anytime you want to pass a bill or sign something that takes our rights away with our guns, while you're drinking this, you'll go, oh crap, yeah, I can't infringe.
Yeah, turns out we can't disarm the American people.
Anyway, so really cool bottle topper too. It's 2 little bullets with just two in the middle.
It's a really nice design.
Very cool. Let's have a little sip while we're here.
And then these glasses
Sorry,
too,
I didn't have a whiskey glass for you. My buddies from Grunt Style, which by the way are new sponsors to Anchormen podcast. So God bless you, Grunt Style. If you don't know what they do, they do a heck of a lot more than cool merch. Okay.
The coolest. Look at this cup.
Yeah.
Look at this. Is a really nice.
But in addition to cool merch, right? They have a foundation, a 501c. They have done more in the last few decades for our combat vets coming home from Iraq and Afghanistan. These guys are awesome when it comes to helping our veterans. So I encourage everybody, get involved with Grunt Style, make a donation, volunteer, do something with Grunt Style, the foundation. And the merch is pretty cool. So you reconnected with some college friends.
Indeed.
They weren't girls.
No.
My plea on last week's show that Riley can play guitar, take you to the beach in San Diego, maybe come into the studio, watch one of his shows, and then maybe go out on a date didn't work.
Well, not yet.
Oh,
Just give it some time. Just be patient here. It's in progress. Work in progress.
Okay. Riley's a work in progress.
That's right.
Are you going to get to playing that tonight finally for us at some
I would
point?
like to. Yeah, absolutely.
I'll tell you what, you start drinking the whiskey, and I'll bet you in 10, 20, 30 minutes, we'll have a tune. All right, let's get to some headlines this week. There was a lot of stuff. I'll bring up one that I think will be a good kickoff for our guest tonight.
Let me take a whiff.
And to you. Oh, it's good.
Oh, it smells.
Trust me.
Yeah,
It's good. It's got a nice bouquet.
It smells. Wow.
This is something that anybody younger than me, especially younger than 30, is very concerned about. So that includes you, right? You're in your 20s. Our next guest is in his 20s. And that's the inevitable, but it may not be, TikTok ban. So TikTok's going to shut down tomorrow, Saturday, right? That's the deadline.
Yes.
If it doesn't sell to an American-controlled company, or its U.S. entity must be an American company. They can still have TikTok, China-owned in China.
Yes.
Other countries, just not here.
Yes. Something not beholden to the CCP.
So you use it, I would assume. I don't. You don't?
Not really, no.
Really?
No, not really.
Wow, I'm shocked.
Are you really?
Yeah, because I thought I was the only one in the building because I'm old. I'm like, I'm over 50. That's why I don't use TikTok, because I've never even tried it. My wife's in her 30s.
I think it's bad news. I do. I don't know. I see people get consumed by it. It takes over their whole lives. I mean, they spend hours and hours just mindlessly scrolling, and that can't be good for you. So I don't have an account. I don't go on there.
But that's social media in general, don't you think?
Yeah.
Not just TikTok.
But there's something
with the younger
special
people,
about TikTok with the young people.
Right, because it's all about the videos.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? And with Facebook, people joke now, Facebook's for my parents and grandparents. That's for the old people.
Yeah.
Is that right, Riley?
Well, maybe there's some truth to that. I don't know. I don't use Facebook either. I'm not huge on social media, but I will say TikTok, I don't know what's going to happen with the ban. I don't, but I don't know about you either, but I would be okay with seeing TikTok go away, truly.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, remember,
benefits to it,
Trump was for it a long time ago on the trail.
Yeah.
Then somebody talked to him. Then they started doing really kick-ass videos for the campaign. He started doing podcasts and
Which I
videos
do
from
like.
them. Started going on TikTok.
Yeah.
His popularity then spiked with, what's the youngest one? The Gen Zers. And all of a sudden he's like, well, now, wait a minute. If we can get an American company to buy it, I think it could be good. Yeah. So now he's for it not being banned.
Yeah. Well, and look, I do get it. I mean, I don't love the idea of the government just shutting down a social media platform, but this one's owned by a CCP entity, basically. So, and there's this new proposal where ByteDance, the parent company of TikTok, would be able to maybe retain some ownership of it. I think that's a horrible idea. So I'm all for finding an American buyer or shutting it down. And if it gets shut down, I'm not going to be sad about it. I think that'd be probably a good thing.
I have a 17-year-old. What the heck was this thing called before TikTok? Remember, it had another name.
Oh, did it?
What was the name of it? Musically. Thank you. Do you remember that?
No.
See? You have to ask the people over here behind the scenes. They know way more than we do up here. Musically.
Okay.
It was called Musically.
So was it a music-based
I sound like Trump. It's called Musically. It's a little something called Musically. Have you heard of it? Musically. Now TikTok, formerly Musically. Yeah, they used to do just like music video compilation things. Because my kid, when she was younger, was actually on Musically because I thought it was pretty innocent back then, and I would let her do it. Because I kept her away from Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and all those until the last year or two, until 15 or 16. I didn't want 8, 9, 10, 11, 12-year-old on there all the time. I saw too many of my friends letting their kids. One, having the phone was bad enough.
Yep, completely.
But I wanted my kiddo to be able to communicate with her parents. And we split years ago, and so we did the phone, even though we were kind of like, eh.
Did you do just a phone or a smartphone?
Oh, we did a smartphone.
Okay, all right. Risky.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, we kept the blocks, and we said no social media, and then, you find out your kids are lying to you, and they're getting on and then, like, deleting the account if they see you and then putting it back or hiding it. Yeah. Parents, check them out. So when it was Musical.ly, I think it was safe and innocent.
Yeah.
When it became TikTok, and then the algorithm started pushing certain political preferences towards the left, then I had a problem.
Yeah.
But it seems like, I don't know, I guess the users must have changed because everybody kept telling me a few months leading up to the election, people almost started feeling like TikTok was skewing to the right.
Yeah.
Is that true?
I think so. I mean, I think it made a difference in this last election because even now poll numbers show that young people went way to the right in the last election. So something was happening. Maybe it was the Trump effect. I don't know. I don't know exactly when he jumped on the platform, but it does seem like it's producing kids that are based more often than not, which is interesting to me.
I heard, and they tied it to the what do they call it, the bro summer?
Yeah.
Because of the college kids and the frat boys and all the dudes getting behind Trump. That one, I think young men in this country don't want to be the beta males that the liberal left want them to be.
No. And that's been forced upon them.
Right.
Absolutely not.
And then all of a sudden they're seeing on TikTok actually cool, tough guys and Trump, plus the guy gets shot and gets up in a couple seconds and is like, fight, fight, fight. And all of a sudden, because even, as I call him, Zuckerberg comes out and is like, look, love him or hate him, you got to support Trump, a guy that can get shot and get up. Yeah. And so I think the bros and some of the betas started seeing not only Trump and other people from the MAGA movement as real men and this new liberal movement of beta males, they didn't want, number one. Number two, I also think like entrepreneurship, work ethic, whatever, a lot of them want to become independently wealthy, right? Because they see all their TikTokers and their influencer friends that are making millions and they're 19, 20 because they got 10 million followers. They're getting free Lambos and big ass houses and trips and hot gals or hot guys. Right.
Yeah.
And so they're like, we want to be able to do that. But then they're like, but the Democrats want to tax us to death, want to regulate us to death. Wait a minute, I want to be an entrepreneur, millionaire, influencer. These guys are going to stifle me. Trump's for that. That's why I think TikTok and those other ones, they were putting that image out and people were like, yeah. And look, go back 10 years before Trump came on the scene, when Trump was Trump the apprentice, Trump the billionaire, Trump the cool cat that everybody wanted to be, that they put in rap songs, that the View ladies kissed his ass, right?
They did, though. They loved him. Oprah Winfrey used to joke about running for president with the guy.
Since the 80s.
Yeah, multiple times.
How many rap songs have mentioned Donald Trump? Hell, Obama years ago mentioned
He was at the roast for Snoop Dogg. I mean, he used to hang out with rappers all the time.
Go look up the roast they did for Trump. I think it was in 2011 on Comedy Central. Snoop was there and roasted him. Look at the people in the crowd. John Legend, his crazy-ass wife that had been hating on him, they were front center row clapping for him and loving him.
Kidding.
Oh, yeah. My wife and I watched it the other day on Comedy Central. It was a great roast. And 90% of the people...
Now must be so trippy to see that because overnight they turn him into a villain.
Yeah. Go watch it sometime. You'll go, it's actually a funny roast. And Trump's hilarious because he allows himself to be roasted. And then when he gets up there and roasts the other people, it's pretty damn funny too. Okay. I mean, he doesn't have the timing like a comedian does because it's Trump, but he doesn't care. Like his strange delivery when trying to do comedy is actually funny as hell because it's Trump. You or I couldn't deliver that way.
Yeah.
But he did it well.
Okay.
All right, so TikTok,
All right.
you think kind of a bad thing, but if it gets rescued by an American company by Saturday night, I think good thing then.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. But overall, I would say I don't like to see this trend where increasingly younger kids are on TikTok and it just melts their minds. They spend all day long on the platform. And I haven't seen that with Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat. So I don't know. There's something specific about that app that just seems so addicting for kids. And I think that's not a good thing. I also don't like, though, that in society people are just glued to their phones all the time.
That's the whole thing.
People live through their devices now. And I just don't like that either.
I'm glad to hear that from a 26, 27-year-old. Yeah. Good perspective, because most people your age are going to tell me, yeah, shut up, Grandpa. This is my lifeline. I need this thing.
Well, by the time they realize it's true, they will have just missed their whole life. That's the sad irony of it all.
Yeah.
It's like one day you'll wake up and realize, wait a minute, if you just put this thing down, look at everything that you've missed. It's just really sad. So I don't know. I just advise kids, you don't need it. Don't ignore the hype. Don't listen to the noise. It's okay in moderation, like anything else, I guess. But
yeah, like whiskey.
Speaking of,
cheers.
Cheers.
All right, let's get to our first guest tonight, right?
All
Because
right.
I'm sure he's got a comment about TikTok.
This smells really good, by the way.
I would think, thank you. I would think he does TikTok videos. I don't know. Again, I'm not on it enough to follow him, but I bet he's got a comment about TikTok and the other subject matters we're going to bring up. So I want to bring up my friend here. I don't know if you've had him on your show. No?
No, not
Okay.
yet.
Joel Patrick is his name. He likes to go by, he's one of those guys that founded the white privilege card. And before you bring him up, don't do it yet, Chris. I want you to think about that in your mind, that he is one of the founders of those cool white privilege cards and the white privilege merch. Now you can get white privilege like chrome stickers for your truck.
No kidding.
My buddy's got him on his old vintage 70s Ford pickup truck at home. Instead of Ford F-150 or whatever, he put white privilege, like just to be a joke. Plus he's a comedian. He's by trade originally made a lot of money as a tree trimmer. Plus he's a Buckeye like me from Ohio, although I think he lives in Florida now. And yes, he's one of those social media influencers with lots of followers. Let's bring on the air my good pal, Joel Patrick. Wait, that's not the right guy. This is the guy that did the white privilege card. Is that the right? I'm kidding. What's up, Joel?
What's up? How you doing?
He's so like chill. What's up? How you doing? How you doing, Joel?
Doing good.
Why so quiet?
Yeah, what's going on?
Are you tired?
I'm not quiet.
Yes, you are. Listen, I told you the podcast, we get to raise a lot of hell. This isn't the talk show. You can do and say and act however you like, and now you're
Free
all...
reign, man.
I was
Free
pumping
reign.
you up to Riley like, this kid is fire. And then you're like, hey, what's up? How's it going, Joel? I mean, I know that you just got married and you're stressed out and you got all this pressure of a family now and you were just a single guy living free and blowing your cash. Now life changes, pal. How's it going?
I'm not stressed out. Why do you think I'm stressed out?
Because you're quiet and I'm used to you being like on a 9 with me up here. Joel?
You gotta get me going.
Okay, well,
All right,
we'll start with
well.
TikTok. We'll warm you up with TikTok. Have you been listening in? Were you in the back room watching?
I have been listening in.
Okay, so you know we started off with TikTok. What do you think? To ban or not to ban TikTok?
I don't think we should ban it
Oh,
And why?
yeah.
Why not?
because I think it's somewhere people go to express their free speech. And I really don't care that the Chinese government has my data because the American government has my data and they're going to do a lot more mismanaging of it than the Chinese government.
Yikes.
Um,
Is he wrong? No.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah. You're not wrong. We know the government spies on us and has all our info, so you're not wrong there, Joel.
and during COVID, who did they go after? Did the Chinese government come after American citizens or did the American government come after citizens
All right, that's a fair
for
point.
speech?
That's
See?
a fair point.
And then we've already seen what happens when you suppress speech. We've seen what's happening in England. England doesn't even have a country anymore. It's going to be Londonistan before you know it.
Yep.
And I'm
Great point.
not saying that we should racially segregate countries, but you should definitely culturally segregate them. And if people don't adhere to your cultural values, then they
Get
don't
out.
belong there.
Yeah.
And they need to go back to where they came from.
It's really sad though, this whole melting pot idea. It works to some extent. Sure, absolutely. Diversity can be a very beautiful thing, but if you don't agree on the core stuff, values, culture, language,
There you go.
history, everything falls apart.
Wait,
Yeah.
wait, why is diversity a beautiful thing? Help me out with that.
Well, I think I think when diversity happens organically, I think it can be beautiful. You can get the best.
Do you like rice and beans?
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah.
He's saying
Well,
You like rice
organically,
and
though.
beans?
Joel, I
But
agree
you
with
like
him.
rice and beans?
Yeah, I like
I mean,
rice
yeah.
and
What
beans.
about
Yeah.
what about with a nice scoop of vanilla ice cream on top?
No, that's disgusting.
Well,
So now,
no.
that I just gave you three diverse flavors, and you immediately said no. Everything should not be together.
I mean,
Well, I agree with that, but certain things can be. I get them. The rice and beans
Like
make
what?
sense, but you lose me with the ice cream.
well,
You know,
let me defend my Anchorman co-anchor here. I think what he's saying is, if stuff happens organically, meaning that somebody moves here from a foreign land.
Yeah.
Excuse me, let me get some whiskey. I got dry throat here. And they bring some of their culture with them, but adhere to the nation they're moving to as far as language and our heritage and our traditions, and just bring in a little of their flavor. That's what's made America cool and awesome and great and amazing and a melting pot. That I agree with you, Riley. If they don't do that, and this will lead me into one of our headlines down in Texas, and I'm sure, Joe, you'll have a comment on this. If you're going to try and come here and create a whole new system of laws and rules, like let's say a bunch of radical Muslims down in Texas near what, Houston is it?
Dallas.
Trying to create an entire community of Muslims behind gates that will pretty much enact Sharia law like they've done in London. then hell no, get your ass out.
Well,
then I agree with you.
Yeah.
Okay,
Same.
Joel? So
Right,
I
but
think there's a happy
here's the
medium
thing, though,
between
the
what you both are
majority-
saying.
But the majority of Muslims, if they adhered strictly to their religion, would be conservative in nature. And I wouldn't be opposed to that.
Yes, but I think it would
When
be a
it
different
comes
kind
to-
of conservatism than you see from Christian.
Yeah,
America.
like beating their women and
Yeah,
kids,
it's-
and women are
it'd
worth
be-
half as much as a man, and
They'd be generally conservative, but that term would mean a much different thing. It
yeah,
would look
throwing
much
gays
different
off
set of
building
policies
tops.
than you
I
would
mean,
see. Yeah.
come
Right,
on.
but if I had to choose between a pride, if I had to choose between a pride month and pride parades every weekend and a mosque being in my neighborhood, I would choose the mosque.
See, I would say,
I don't know what I would choose.
I would say,
That's a really tough one.
I was going to have a quick gut reaction, but then I went, wait a minute. I'm a big follower of the Constitution. We have freedom of religion.
We do.
And you are allowed to have your mosque as long as you're not inside that mosque planning attacks and plotting attacks on American soil.
Yeah,
That's where I got a problem.
Well, and to be fair, when they wrote that, they weren't envisioning having this giant Muslim super city formed in Texas, in the heartland of America. So it was this country was established by WASPs. So it was just
Texas-
a completely different situation.
No, Texas is not the heartland of America. That would be Ohio.
Yeah, baby, that's right.
Okay.
See, that's my
There we
fellow
go.
Buckeye right
we
there.
go. Okay.
Where'd you grow up again, Joel? I forget.
Dayton, Ohio.
Dayton, right. I'm up by Toledo, a little town called Archbold. You know where that is by the chance?
Middle of nowhere.
Smart ass.
Okay.
So, Joel, before we move on to more subject matters here, and I do want to touch more on this huge Muslim neighborhood because this is legit, folks. They're trying to build an entire community down in Texas, and we're attempting to hide it from the locals and the neighbors. But then there was a big public hearing, and people are getting pissed.
Yes, they are.
Because, as you just alluded to, Joel, look what's happened to jolly old England. I mean, they went with porous borders for the last 2 decades, and France did, and Germany did.
yeah.
And they're going to be speaking other languages and looking a whole lot different. And again, I don't think it's racist to say that because you have a heritage, you have a people, you're trying to preserve that. There's nothing wrong with it.
What race is an Englishman?
Well, I didn't say race. I'm talking about their heritage. I mean,
You said you
the
don't think
Brits-
it's racist, but what race is an Englishman?
Well, because I'm saying this for the liberals that are going to attack me and say, because I said that England should be able to keep their heritage and you don't allow millions of illegals in from other nations and let them overtake your heritage, which they've done in England. I mean, look at it. Isn't the mayor of
Well,
London?
I don't think it's the heritage that they've overtaken. It's the culture. You don't allow someone to overtake your culture.
Both. Yes.
That's called, we have a word for that. It's called invasion.
Yep.
And historically, people have fought very vigorously against invasions.
Well, I think we're fighting back right now with the majority of the American people voting Donald Trump in. And you look what a difference 2 months makes with one president versus another president who left the floodgates wide open for 4 years.
Well, they enabled it. They imported people.
Of course they did.
Absolutely.
And we know they did it on purpose, Joel. I'm sure you saw this week because Elon came out right before they had that presser thing in Wisconsin with him and that other billionaire Gracias guy. And they said, look, we went into Social Security looking for payments of dead people and people that shouldn't be getting money. And we uncovered that, but we uncovered 2.5 million people put on the voter rolls, or not voter rolls, pardon me, given Social Security numbers so they could vote
Okay.
and benefits.
Well, that's not necessarily true. They were given social security numbers so that they could pay taxes.
Right. But with a Social Security card, Joel, you can also do what? Get an ID and register to vote. And we know blue liberal states are doing that
Right,
because
but
they're
they
not
could get
checking and asking. There's no voter ID in what, 20-some, 30-some blue states. You can just
Right,
walk
but you
in.
can get it.
Here's my ID.
You can get a driver's license without a social security number.
Right, but it's harder to vote with just the ID unless you're in a very liberal-ass state or city. So my point is, what Elon uncovered this week, kind of on accident, looking for expenditures going out, proved the point that, as you just said, this was a planned invasion for 4 years under the Biden regime because they knew we import 12 to 18, somewhere in there, million people.
Could be more.
Right?
Could be- yeah.
2.5 of them got Social Security cards. If you put them, and we know they did, on planes and buses and ship them to the right counties in the right battleground states,
Right.
you win every presidential election from here on out. So it was all set up. Thank God the American people saw it, stopped it in its tracks, put Trump
But
in.
I don't know that. I think that's just a government corruption thing. I don't know that it's a Democrat thing because Barack Obama deported more illegal immigrants than Trump, and he even had a system in place where he allowed people to self-deport to prevent being forcibly deported.
Well, but also I think when Obama was in, don't forget, Joel, the country was in a different mood, meaning a lot of people backed him believing he was the next coming of Jesus. I mean, liberals thought he was a messiah for the Democrat Party. And a lot of Republicans even voted for him and liked him. I have some friends, not close friends, who voted for his ass the first time. Then they learned their lesson. I can honestly say I've never voted for a Democrat in my life, and
I
I've
wouldn't
abstained
agree
on
that
some
they learned their
Republicans.
lesson. He got elected twice. The problem
I
was
know,
we
that's what I'm
ran two
saying.
Democrats. We ran two Democrats disguised as Republicans against him. How are we going to beat Democrats with Democrats?
Well, but he was great in my opinion. He was great at messaging, unlike anybody since Reagan. W didn't
Right, but
message
who
like
was he
him.
running against?
HW. Well,
was
we
running
put up,
against
yeah, we put up
John
McCain with
McCain.
Palin for God's sakes.
And
Yeah.
then we put up
Romney.
Mitt
Romney.
Romney.
Yeah,
That was
Uncle
worse.
Mitzi. I know, Uncle Mitzi Rhino
Well,
Romney.
I mean, that really just, I think, speaks to a lot of the fact that we just have this uniparty establishment system that churns out these candidates that, I mean, you have situations where there's not really a lot of daylight between them in terms of policy, and they basically say the same thing and do the same thing. But Trump is so different than the whole swamp, and that's, I think, why they go after him so hard. I mean,
Well, yeah, because he was a
he's complete
Democrat.
outsider.
He was
I
a
have
New York
personal
Democrat.
friendship
Go ahead.
I have a personal friendship with Dan Crenshaw, and I've hung out with him a couple times. Personally, Dan and I are friends. If anybody asks me, I'm friends with Dan.
Yep.
I have not agreed with many of his policies,
Yep. Me
but
too.
if I disagree with him with something, I call him and I'm like, "Hey, what's this about?" And he talks to me about it. And so I respect somebody who holds a viewpoint, articulates that viewpoint, and doesn't hide that they're holding that viewpoint. But at the same time, I can't support the policy if I don't support the policy.
Yeah.
Whereas,
Well,
like,
Joel, that's where you and I met. It was you, me, my wife, and Terrence Williams and some other influencers backstage at a Crenshaw event like 3 years ago.
No kidding.
That's where I met Joel.
Oh yeah, it was. It was
Yeah.
at the event in Texas.
Yes.
Wow.
Duh. Come on, man. Don't you remember our first meeting, bro? Not cool,
I actually
Joel.
didn't even
I'm
remember
hurt.
we ever met in person.
I'm hurt.
I just thought you just had this random
That's it.
love for having
Cut him
me on
off.
your shows.
I don't want to talk to this guy anymore.
Eye-opening
Jeez
moment
Louise.
here.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
What an impression I made on Joel Patrick.
I don't know. I was like, what is going on with this guy? Oh, he's definitely going to be getting with his producer. That's what I thought.
Oh, because my wife wasn't my wife at the time. Yeah, my producer. Bro, we've been together
Yeah.
10 years. We've only been on the show 5
knew-
years. The show had nothing to do with us getting together. We was together before OAN.
Workplace shenanigans.
What about your young lady? What's happening in your life? You got a lot of. We're never going to get to any of these subjects.
Yeah,
but
I know.
who
We had a
cares?
long list too.
Who cares? Who
prepared
cares?
and everything.
I got
What's shaking?
married.
I know
I
you
got
got married.
married.
I saw. Congratulations.
I like you married out of my league.
I married up as well. Most men do. Most men do.
Yeah.
How's that going? How's your ball and chain?
All you got to do is make them laugh. I'm kidding.
Just make them laugh. No,
Yeah,
true.
make them laugh.
I mean, think about some of the ugliest comedians out there get some hot wives, don't they?
Good point. Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
even
sense of humor
girlfriends
can go
like
a long way.
Pete Davidson.
Pete Davidson, look at
He
the.
looks like a rat.
He looks like a
And he's
rat.
pulled some,
Did you say
he's
rat?
pulled some
And
baddies.
he pulls. I mean, Pete, I don't like your politics, but bro, good on you. Another one, and this is one of my wife likes him as an artist, and I'm like, oh, is MGK.
Oh.
But Megan
he's a
Fox,
weasel.
I mean, it's in her name, bro. Check her out. I mean, they're both
She used
batshit
to be good
crazy.
looking when she used to be good looking when she was younger, but she did too much with the
No,
surgeries.
don't care. Still hot. You're wrong, Joel. Still hot. And for him, that's like a 10 with a 2. I mean, have you seen the kid? He's like skinny, tall, white skeleton with skin on and pink hair and black fingernails. And then Megs is over there going, whew. Anyway. My wife's here behind the scenes going to go, I'm dead. I'm dead. Thanks, Joel. Okay, so
It
cover
wasn't
TikTok.
me. You did that all on your
Nah,
own. Don't
you
blame
started
me.
it. You're a
Don't bring me into
jackass.
this.
It's all your fault. I'm blaming it on you.
Don't blame me into this.
Okay, TikTok ban. We covered this. Look it up, folks.
Yeah,
It's for real happening in Dallas. They're trying to build this massive Muslim community. Let's go into some entertainment news real quick because I thought this guy was cool. I grew up with him. You two didn't because you're too young, but I think viewers of the podcast will know him.
No, Dan, you're just old. How old are you, Dan?
Smart-ass son of a... I'll be 51 this year, jerk.
How old is your wife?
31. Got a problem? Look
No,
at it.
mine's 23.
And how old are you?
29.
Well, that's only,
yeah.
that's only a few years. That's not bad. That's like, what, 29, 21? And your girl, oh, never mind.
No.
We're trying to hook Riley up. He's got
You had to go there. All right. We're working on it.
Wait.
We're working on it.
Riley, how old is your girl?
Doesn't have one. He doesn't have one.
Oh, let me get back to you. Delayed response on that.
I've been trying to set him up, Joel. Shh. Watch
Set
the
him
show
up?
more. Yeah, we got to get him. He plays guitar. He cooks. He's a
Well, because I thought you
national
said
talk
that this
show
was a show with Matt Gates, so I thought that was Matt Gates. I was like, man, he looks weird. He grew a beard.
Well, so we started off doing the single show, and now we're doing 2 episodes a week. We might do more, and because he's going back and forth from Cali, Florida, D.C., and my ass is just in Cali. I'm not going anywhere. My wife and I just bought a couple-acre ranch, and we're settling down like Ronnie
Where's
and
your
Nancy.
ranch at?
Ronnie and Nancy.
Ball Ranch.
I'm not allowed to say the town outside of San Diego. She's literally shaking her head no behind the camera. Sorry, bro. There's been too much swatting going on with MAGA folks.
Well, why didn't you come to Florida?
Why didn't I come to Florida? Because the network's based here. That's where my job is.
They need to move the network too.
Well,
They need
I've
to
been
move the
asking
network,
for
too.
years, but they haven't moved, okay? So this is where we're staying put. So we bought a little plot of land, about 3 acres, an old 45-year-old ranch. We're going to get some horses
all custom
and
built by the
chickens.
previous owner, right?
Yeah, it's all
He built the
Adobe,
thing.
all
Yeah.
Adobe bricks.
Yeah.
And we're gonna replicate Ronnie and Nancy. It's gonna be Danny and Patty, and we're gonna be out on the range and ranch riding horses,
I was gonna say,
just
some
like the
animals.
Reagans in the '80s when he retired. But I'm not retiring anytime soon. I plan on doing TV until the herrings either take me off the air or I die. One of the two. Anyway,
You'll
The
die on the air
herrings?
doing what you love.
what?
What?
The herrings?
Yeah, that's the owners, the bosses. You know who they are. We've talked about this before.
Oh yeah, the ones that didn't hire
Do you
me.
guys know each other? This is
Yeah, he's being a smartass. That's why he said it, because he just said, yeah, the ones who didn't hire me. Because
Oh.
he's been trying to get a job. You're not going to work for us. You left Ohio and moved to Florida, okay? And you're making hand over fist in your tree business more than probably we could pay you as a reporter. So what are you complaining about?
Oh, I don't know. I could really bump those numbers.
Okay.
If you don't turn up the energy level, you ain't bumping up squat. All right, so I want to talk about Val Kilmer.
Stop it, Dan.
Can
I
I
could
ask
post
you-
this on my Instagram right now, and I
And
bet you
blow
I'd
it
get
up.
more
I know.
views.
You see that? He's leveraging that social media power now.
Mm-hmm.
I got way more followers than you. I can either kill
say
you
that.
or help you. I know
No,
you're
I
big.
could
I
not
know you're
kill
big
you.
time.
I wouldn't
bro.
kill you.
I know you're big time.
Can't kill you.
That's why you have
You're
white
one of the
privilege
good-
cards.
You're one of the good white.
Hey, get it right. Next time, call me one of the good crackers. Okay? Not whites.
Yes, massa.
That's derogatory. Call me a cracker.
Yes, massa.
You think that's going to upset people? This is how Joel and I always do it, though.
No, never.
See, we believe there isn't a race war in this country. We know it's made up, so we like to make fun of their stupid BS. That's
Do you
why-
want to ask Dan? Ask Dan why he had the Secret Service try to block me from coming into his wedding?
Oh my God, you lying SOB.
What?
Okay,
I want to hear the story.
yeah. So this is the joke. Yeah,
This
we don't
propaganda. Is
we
this
don't
fake
know we
news
don't
or
know
for
each
real?
other at all. But yeah, he's at my wedding at Mar-a-Lago. Okay, no. Here's what happened. He was the only black guy that showed up with a gun. Am I wrong? Smart ass.
I was not the only person. To show up with a gun.
And you weren't the
Madison
only black
Cawthorn
guy
showed
either.
up with a whole bunch of guns.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Who's
But we
dumb
didn't
enough?
have. Yeah, we didn't have them. Yeah, we didn't have them out. We had them in our safes, our vehicle-mounted safes, which are just like completely safe. But they have like the dog, and the dog sniffed it out, and they're like, "Is there a gun in your safe?" And I was
Bro,
like,
you
"Yeah,
don't
it's
go
in
to
the safe."
Oh my God. You don't go to
I thought it was going to
Mar-a-Lago.
be parked.
You don't go to Mar-a-Lago.
I also don't take a 4-hour road trip without keeping that thing on me. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, mine was digging
I was
my
gonna
hip. Mine's right here. I won't show it because I don't know what the rules are. But yeah, mine's here, always on my hip. Anyway, this is October 18th, Riley. Let's get your take. You mute his mic. This is October 18th. This is 18 days before the presidential election. Trump had just been shot on July 13th, and then the wacko at the golf course. Someone tried to take him out a couple months later.
Yep.
And now it's the 18th of October. He shows up with a gun in his truck. You don't do that. I mean, I take my gun everywhere. But that day, and we were even staying at Mar-a-Lago, it was locked in the gun safe at the hotel off property. You can't be dumb enough to take a gun to Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah, I mean, look,
Joel.
I think it's okay, but can we admit that's probably not the best idea, given just the context of the situation?
Okay, so be completely honest with me. If you thought you were parking your vehicle across the street, that it wouldn't even go across the street to where Mar-a-Lago was, what are the odds that they're going to search your vehicle even? I thought I was just going to park my vehicle, walk across the street, go to the wedding, be done. Guess how late I was to his wedding?
He was the last one to walk in.
Ooh,
We were standing up there, starting the vows. All 100 people are seated.
What?
And I see
So
this
totally
guy
quiet.
and his woman walking across the lawn and finding a seat like, oh, sorry.
No, I didn't even ever find a seat. She found a seat. I stood the whole time. And then at his reception, bro, when they say white people can't dance, there were two people out there dancing, like getting it. You know who it was? It was me and Kofi Anderson.
Yep, Coffee Anderson.
Okay.
Yep. Did you stick around? Because I was cutting up the rugs late at night, bro, and I thought I was doing pretty well. No?
I can't. I don't know. I
Wow.
stayed pretty
Can't
late.
vouch?
I stayed till
Can't
they kicked us
No,
out.
he wouldn't vouch for me. He's never coming on
No,
the
Some
stayed till
friend,
they
man.
kicked
Yeah,
us
some
out.
friend.
He's never coming on the show again. Okay, can we talk about some more stuff or not? We're just going to talk about all this.
We can
crap.
talk about more stuff, but you know what, Dan? You know what the problem with you is?
Yes, sir.
Oh.
Mhm.
Yes, Massa. What's my problem? Tell this crap.
You don't have any black friends. That's the problem.
Oh.
I know.
Wow.
Joel's actually white. I mean, look at him. Listen to him. He's whiter than me.
Yeah. I'm Clayton Bigsby.
Yep.
Okay.
I close my eyes at night and pretend I'm white. I'm just like,
If you don't know that reference, folks, Dave Chappelle, Clayton Bigsby, look it up. You'll laugh your ass off. He's got me so off track. I don't know what the hell I want to talk about.
Yeah. So where do you want to go next?
I don't know. Can we talk about your good news?
I can tell.
You and
Good news.
your wife.
Oh yes.
Okay.
I got married.
Because that'll lead into the other good news you told me about. Can we talk about that good news?
I'm gonna be a dad.
Yay!
What? Congratulations.
This is going to lead me into Elon Musk's baby
Yeah,
and Ashley St. Clair. We're going to get to that in a second because I know you got an opinion
Is
on
that
that.
real?
Yeah, that's real, bro. But anyway, let's talk about your baby
I
first.
used to be friends with Ashley St. Clair, and
Used to be.
one time. Yeah, one time she was at the where was it at? She was at the March for Life in Washington D.C. And she was trying to figure out which room the Hodge twins were in because she was trying to have a baby with the Hodge twins. So she's been doing this baby clout chasing for a while.
Whoa. Breaking news on the
Yeah.
Anchormen podcast. Holy shit. Wait a second. So you're saying, because they've been calling her a baby chaser, right? Like she set up and stalked Elon to get the baby and da-da-da-da. Because let's be real. He gave her like what, $2.5 million up front, the $120,000 plaid freaking version of his Tesla, and then a $500,000 stipend, which she complained about this week, and because he's cutting in half to $250,000 a year, so she had to sell the Tesla. Had like a little presser in front of her, by the way,
Ritzy
gated
Manhattan
doorman,
apartment, yeah.
Ritzy Manhattan apartment complex, and complained Elon was cutting her pay for her and her baby. So I want you to repeat that. You're saying during the March for Life, she was trying to get knocked up by the Hodge twins?
Yeah.
I'm going to call the Hodge twins.
Yeah, that's insane.
I'm friends with them. I do have more black friends. Screw you. I'm going to call those.
Don't say you heard that from me though, because
Hey.
I'm not supposed to know that.
In the Hodge twins' words, that's a damn good story. It's a damn good show. Damn good show. Damn good.
But we
Wow.
actually had we had private security at the time that
Breaking
actually
news.
kept Ashley from finding the Hodge twins' room.
No.
Yeah, we had like an armored vehicle for the March for Life. It was crazy.
What?
I love the Hodge twins, by the
Well,
way.
so
Folks,
then-
if you're watching this podcast and you don't know, watch their podcast.
Well, so
'cause the
then-
Hodge twins are freaking hilarious.
When the news broke with Elon earlier this week, I mean, what was your first thought about it?
Yeah, since you
Oh,
knew
with
this.
Elon and Ashley St. Clair?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, she probably did that. Yeah, I was like, oh, she probably did that. But I think the problem with women is they don't understand that there is it's not wife support. It's child support. The money is for the
Thank
child. If it's
you.
a baby, I don't know any baby that needs $250,000 a year unless that baby's like
Bro,
on dialysis or something. I don't even know.
I got a
What could that
17-year-old.
baby possibly need?
My ex and I split when she was 2. So let me tell
Boy or
you,
girl?
I know all about. I have a little sweet, awesome daughter. But what you just
I
said
knew you were going to say daughter as soon as you said sweet and
'Cause-
awesome because nobody says sweet, awesome son.
about I know. And you're going to have a baby girl, so get ready to get some gray hair, okay, in those curls. Listen, but he just said something I can't repeat. It'll get me in trouble. What'd you say that
Repeat it.
women should get? It's called what
Women
support?
should get child support, not wife
It's
support.
not called wife support or ex-wife support. Yeah, that's exactly it. That's right.
Also, there's this thing like after the child's like going to school age, you can get this thing called a job and go make your own money.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'll give you my ex's phone number, Joel. You can give her a tutorial. Okay, that one's going to get me in trouble. And my new wife's over there going, yeah! I'm in such deep shit now. Okay.
The other thing is, women should not be able to collect any form of alimony if they remarry, because it's now that new guy's job to support her, not the old guy.
Oh.
I don't know.
I agree with that 100%.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, if
I did
it's
to pay
women, if
alimony,
it's my
but I
body,
agree. For the guys that have done alimony, if she gets remarried, there's a whole new income.
Yeah.
What the hell are you still supporting her for?
if it's wait, if it's my body, my choice for the women, then it's my wallet, my choice for the men, and men are not obligated to pay child support for children if the
Oh, watch out. That one's going to get you in trouble.
Yeah.
if the child is unwanted. Because hey, if it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander. My problem is, I think people are like, oh, you think child support should chart conception? Absolutely, you both made the baby, but I also think that a man should have a say in whether or not she's able to get rid of that child. If the court is going to have a say if he decides not to pay, I think it's only fair.
Think about that. The family law court, thank you. Family law court is very one-sided and has been for decades.
Yeah.
It's always, well, the woman has the full choice to have the kid or not. And then if she fully chooses to, then you fully will be forced by the court to pay whatever the court tells you in child support till that child graduates, or in California, as I know, until they graduate high school, not just turn 18.
Really?
Because my daughter turns
Don't quote
18
me
this
on
year,
this.
but I got to pay till
Don't
she
quote me on this,
graduates
but
next
it's-
year. That's the law.
Don't quote me on this, but
Right.
there's 29,000 men in the United States who names were written on birth certificates, who then went and took paternity tests and proved they were not the father of the child.
What?
But because their name was on the birth certificate, the states are still compelling
Still
them
making them
to
pay.
pay.
And they
child
contest
support,
it, and the state says tough because you signed the birth certificate,
And if they
even though the
don't pay-
DNA proves it's not their kid.
And if they don't pay,
See how the system's
right to
screwed?
jail.
That's just
And right to, of course, I know. If you
Right
don't pay
to
child
jail.
support, your ass is going to jail.
Jail.
Wow.
That's insane.
Because they come after your pay. They'll dox your pay if you're freaking late. I mean,
Really?
but you barely ever hear about that going the other way.
No, never. That's insane, though.
Okay.
Okay.
Before we run out of time, because we only have like 15 minutes left and we're done with an hour already. Like,
Already?
holy cow, yeah.
Okay. Wow.
I did want to bring up, but thank you for all that. That was great stuff, Joel. Val Kilmer.
Yep.
Do you guys know who he was as 20-year-olds?
Well, I mean,
Do you know Iceman?
not as well as I know him as Jim Morrison. I know Jim Morrison.
Because you're a music buff.
I am.
So you know actor Val Kilmer from playing in the Doors. Yeah.
You're a music buff?
I am.
Oh, dude, he can play
You
jam.
listen
At least with rock and roll
Do you
music.
listen to country music?
I do. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, he's a huge. You should watch
Rock
him
and roll.
line dance,
I
bro.
had a friend whose dad did some rock and roll music.
Who? What's
He was like famous too.
Who?
what? Who is this?
Yeah, he had some band in the 60s.
What's it called, Joel?
I feel like
Stop hiding it from us.
The Beatles?
Oh, you smartass. Who are you talking about?
His name's Sean Lennon.
what?
Yeah.
Sean.
We used to play chess. We used to play chess against the homeless people in New York.
Who's Sean Lennon? What's the relationship? That's his son?
Yeah.
No kidding.
Wow.
Look at this.
Yeah,
Look at
so
this cat.
he
trims
invited me
trees,
to his house in
white
New York, and
privilege.
he was like, "Hey, he's like, do you want to play chess against the homeless people?" And we're like, "Yeah." And so they bet money on it, and so we took the homeless people's money because we beat them in chess.
How do they have money? They're
They're
homeless.
No, they make probably 6 figures a year.
Panhandling. Yeah.
No, it's not panhandling. They'll do these chess games where they'll probably let the people win,
Oh, in
The
New York,
first
though.
game.
Yeah.
and then it's in like I think it's in Central Park. Don't quote me on it, but
Yeah.
they sit there and
Really?
they play chess all day and they hustle people.
Yeah,
But
the
I think
hustlers.
they
Yeah.
thought
Like a
that we
pool.
would. They think that we thought we would. I think they thought we would just lose the first game, think it was so easy, bet a whole bunch more and play the second game. But we walked away after the first game.
Nice. Take the homeless people's money, Joel.
Wow.
Wow, you're racist.
I'll lose no sleep over it. No, it was black.
Just joking, dude.
Wow.
That's what they label all of us. I mean, come on. Over the last so many years, haven't you? I mean, look at our friend Larry Elder. Okay,
But I am a
sage of South
racist.
Central.
right. But Larry Elder
I
is
am
the
a
new face
racist.
of white supremacy. Are you the young new face of white supremacy?
No, not white supremacy, but I'm a racist.
See, He's
I
racist.
believe that the human race is superior to all other races. That's why the monkeys are in the zoo, because we're superior.
There you go. All right. Can I ask if you know anything about Val Kilmer? Because I actually got to be in a movie with the guy back in 2020 called Pay Dirt. My wife and I both were in it. I had a scene with Val, actually. I'm trying to think if I had a line with him on camera or I was in the back area. It's been a while. But anyway, Val, I think, was underrated.
Oh, yeah.
As an actor. He was a damn good actor. Doors, one of your favorite
He
films
nailed
because
that
you're a
role.
music
Yes,
lover.
Jim Morrison, absolutely.
Top Gun, because I was in the Air Force. Yes, I know it was Navy. Always thought being a pilot would be cool and being a combat journalist instead. But I thought he was a great actor, underrated.
But you were in the Air Force?
Yeah, bro, you know that. Stop acting like. See, every
what
time
did
I
you do
say
in the Air
something,
Force?
he just does this crap. I say something, and then he acts like he doesn't know this about me.
Trying to figure out if you guys are actually friends.
Yeah, he was at my wedding. What do you think?
Yeah. Well, sounds like you tried to sabotage him.
Such a smarter. No, we already had somebody do
No.
that. Anyway.
Wait, somebody tried to sabotage your wedding?
Yeah. I'll tell you offline. Never mind. Not bringing it up here. My wife will kill me.
She's going to kill you anyway.
It's all water under the bridge.
It's a matter of time.
Statistically speaking, marriage, women are more dangerous to you than a serial killer.
What? I'm sorry, what?
Statistically speaking, you're more
We're
likely
never
to be
getting
killed
to
by
any
your
of these
spouse
things.
than a serial
So
killer.
much crap. I love it.
No, but just
No,
you
give us
don't even
the
need to look it up.
science.
Think about the numbers. So,
Yep.
On average, a total of 1,000 people worldwide are killed by a serial killer, and it's like 38% of murders are from a spouse. So it's like the numbers are not even close.
You're
It's
more
like,
likely to be killed by your wife than a serial killer.
Wow.
It's a
Than a serial killer.
statistical fact. Joel Patrick just gave you the info. So guys,
and you're more
watch
likely to be
your
killed by
six.
your husband than a serial killer as well. So.
well, yeah, I'm sure it goes both ways. I didn't just think the women are killing the men. Don't get any ideas, dear. So, okay.
She already has them, statistically speaking.
I'll give up on Val. I'll just say, rest in peace. He was a nice, sweet guy. Best to his family.
Amazing actor.
I think he was an amazing actor and underrated. But that leads me into entertainment news, which I know we want to hit some because last week on the show, Joel, we were making fun of Rachel Ziegler, the woke-ass actress who pretty much tanked the entire brand new Snow White franchise for Disney because she's an idiot. And we wanted to brag up our friends over at Angel Studios who were putting out a new animated film called King of Kings about Jesus. And Angel Studios have been doing great stuff.
Yeah.
They did
Wait,
that
I
one.
thought Rachel Ziegler was a big proponent of social distancing
Oh, yeah, I'm sure she was.
was she? Yeah.
Yeah, during
because
COVID.
her eyes are social distancing from her face. We also had
Okay.
we also had a storyline where she's supposed to be the fairest of them all. Well, what are they comparing her to? Kunta Kinte? And then you go on and you see she's supposed to be the most beautiful. She's supposed to. Oh man! She said she's this. She said she's supposed to be the most.
Roots.
She's.
Jeez.
Hope we be good. Oh, I can't say that.
You can say what you want,
Anyway,
bro. This is a podcast.
I
This
can
isn't
say
a
it.
talk show. What do you want to say?
Worst case scenario, we'll bleep it.
He says,
Well, I
he says,
hope not.
Toby, be good. N-word for Massa. It's a funny line, but I won't go there. But Gal Gadot, who we all know is Wonder Woman,
Yes, Wonder Woman.
is supposed to be jealous of the beauty of Rachel Ziegler. And it's like, in what universe?
Who says that? Rachel?
In what universe is a 10 jealous of a 2? Like, that doesn't, I just don't see it happening.
No.
And then while on a press tour, standing next to Gal Gadot, Rachel Ziegler yells, "Free Palestine."
Ugh.
And Rachel Ziegler is not from any Middle Eastern country.
No,
And
and
Gal
she's about
Gadot
she's
served
about
in the
5'1".
Gal Gadot served in the Israeli military.
That's what I'm gonna
so
say.
It's just like, imagine being
Right. A 5'1",
stupid.
soaking wet little skinny, dumb, mindless liberal supporting Hamas terrorist, standing next to a 5'10" badass Gal Gadot who could crush your little ass. Yeah, and she is way sexier. Totally agree. All right, we've only got a couple minutes left, so I'd like to hit one more thing since we're talking about tough girls. Did you see that? What was her name? Is it Jennifer Turner or something?
Fencer.
The young girl from Maryland, Stephanie, pardon me, thank you. Stephanie Turner from Maryland. She is a collegiate fencer, right? Whatever you call them. I don't know if that's the word, a fencer.
Yeah, fencer. Yeah, you
I know
got
it's called fencing, but are you a fencer?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Is that the name? Anyway, she took a knee, and I'm sure we'll put a pic up or show some video. She took a knee when the trans dude came out and wanted to fence with her because she's like, I'm not doing this, okay? I'm following science, chromosomes,
But wait,
God.
wait.
Yep.
Do they divide it by men and women? Is fencing divided by men and women?
Yes, they have different categories. You fence men or you fence women, depending on what you are as you're born.
So
But this
I think we need to
guy
be a
said
little
he was a
kinder
girl.
to. I think we need to be a little kinder towards trannies and take better care of trannies because remember,
You can't
without
say
them, how
tranny.
would we ship? Tranny. Without them,
Tranny's
how
like
would we
the
ship?
N-word for people that are transitioning.
Listen. Without trannies, how would we shift gears?
Oh.
Now he's making a gearhead
Wow.
joke. You got to love this guy. That's a good gearhead joke.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
That's a good one.
6R140, baby. 6R140.
Jeez. All right.
Okay, all right.
As we get ready to wrap
Well, by
up
the way,
here,
though, she got
Joel.
disqualified for that.
Yeah, they
from
disqualified
competing,
her
Yeah.
because she took the knee because they were trying to force her
She
to
forfeited.
compete against a dude. I say bravo to her.
Completely.
Good on her.
Yeah.
And these lawmakers in these liberal ass states like Maryland and Maine, and these governors who keep saying they're going to defy President Trump's order, that there are no more trannies, as Joel put it, playing in women's sports. You don't ever
But
hear
it makes it worse. But it makes it worse is that he had competed last year as a dude.
as a dude.
Oh, no.
Yeah, dude.
Wow.
Yeah,
This is just like the,
dude.
this is just like the
comp-
boxing
the
thing
sa-
at the Paris
Yeah,
Olympics.
the same competition.
It's like,
Competed as a dude.
hello, it's the same thing with
It's just like that boxing match.
the swimming guy. What was his name? William. That's his real name, Thomas. Right? The reason that we all know Riley Gaines and love her now is because she came out and was like, hey, this dude was ranked 452nd last year when he was a dude swimming. Now the 6'3" guy that's kicking girls' butts is winning medals.
Yes.
This is
Yeah,
unfair.
but the worst part about it is he didn't even. There were girls that kicked his butt, so he really must suck. I told him he should probably compete in the African women's division, then he'd at least have a chance because they can't swim. But anyway,
Oh my God, that is so racist. But not when a black man says it. Okay.
is it racist
We're
or is
out
it true?
of time, Joel Patrick.
Are observations racist, Dan?
Are observations racist? No.
Yeah.
they
Do
are
you
not.
Do black people like watermelon?
I don't know for a scientific
Statistically,
fact.
I don't know.
I mean,
Okay,
do they?
statistically
Do
speaking, you get robbed at KFC. Who robbed you?
You're not going to bait me, smartass, into that. Because I guarantee if I go to a KFC and get robbed in, Utah, it's going to be some meth head white people.
No. You don't understand. The 3 black people in all of Utah will be at that KFC and rob you.
Okay, they're giving me the hard rap now, and no, it's not because you're content. It's because we're coming up on
Wait,
an hour
did you say
and
they're
we're
giving you
done.
they're giving you the hard R?
The hard rap.
Oh,
Wrap
well,
up
you
the
can
show,
use it.
Joel.
I'll give you a pass. I'll sell you a pass.
Oh, I'd like a pass.
It'll
So-
just cost reparations.
Oh, you're not getting shit for reparations. I don't believe in those, and neither do you. Okay.
I do. I believe in reparations.
No, you don't.
Yes, the United States government paid reparations to slave owners for removing their property.
I told you.
They did.
It only
That's a
took him an
real thing. I
hour to
didn't make
warm
that
up.
up.
It only took him an hour to warm up. Okay,
That's
Joel,
a real thing. I didn't make that up.
how do they follow you? Give your handles out. Tell them how to get a white privilege card from you since you invented that stuff. Give them all your details so we can wrap up here, big boy. And this was
The
a
white
waste.
privilege cards are not currently for sale. We're still updating the website, but you can follow me
Yeah.
on all social media as Joel Patrick. Just leave out the I. It's just Joel Patrick without the I on all social media channels, except Facebook. It's Joel Patrick, and just all the way spelled out. And I will be a little more serious in those videos. I just have a lot more fun here. But yeah, feel free to
You're
follow
supposed
me
to.
or don't.
I'm
It
so
makes
glad we
me no
went over a
difference.
bunch of topics.
Yeah.
Didn't really work with Joel, did it?
Dan, the first mistake you made was having topics as if I wasn't interesting enough to keep you entertained.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
Did I tell you to be a good
Some
guest or what?
friend.
I know. All right, well, now that I hooked you and Riley up, you two, get him on your show
Yeah.
and come on the talk show next week. All right, we got to run. Joel, thank you, brother, for coming on. Joel Patrick, everybody. Appreciate you so much, brother. Be good. Be good to that wife, that baby girl when she comes. We love you.
I
Take
will.
care. All right.
Love you too. Bye.
Yeah. Wow. Was that only
Kid's fun,
an
ain't he?
hour or so?
We're about to hit an hour, and I'm going to need another shot. So I think we're going to have to wrap up before we get in trouble. Check out Riley's show. It's The Real Story with Riley Lewis. That's 6 p.m. Eastern. 8 p.m. you can check out Real America with Dan Ball. My show. 9 o'clock is the Matt Gaetz Show. 10 o'clock, this is our primetime lineup, is Chanel Rion with Fine Point. Of course, we have all the amazing anchors over on our news site at One America News. Follow OANN on all platforms. You can follow me either at Dan Ball, Dan P. Ball, or Dan the Newsman Ball. I got a bunch of different handles over the decades.
too many
Riley,
handles, man.
how do they follow you?
At Riley Lewis 760. All platforms.
That's it.
That's it.
at Riley Lewis 760.
Yes, sir.
That's
All
a
platforms.
Pretty easy one. Thanks so much for tuning into this week's edition of the Anchormen podcast. Sound off below. We'd love to hear your comments. I want to start reading some of the comments and stuff on our talk shows.
And share and with all your friends.
Share this with
obviously.
all your friends.
Plug it.
Also, download the OAN app so you can take us live on the go. And we got to brag up our new partners, Dish Network and Sling TV, where you can check us out if you're already subscribed to them. Thank you so much. We'll see you next week.
Want to see more great videos like this? Click on the link below to subscribe to OAN Live and watch Dan Ball's Real America and The Matt Gaetz Show on Dish Channel 212. Tune in, subscribe, and watch today.